This is Dennis with Builder Resources and BuilderAcademy.com. Thanks for tuning into this podcast. The actual page on the Builders Resources website that this podcast comes from contains many links to other pages within the site. If you'd like to explore any topic in greater depth, please go to the page on the website to follow the links. In this podcast, I will be referring to several documents which are critical to conducting a SWOT analysis. You will find them for free on the Builder Resources website under the Business tab in the menu. Go to the SWOT analysis section and you'll find them there. If you haven't listened yet to the SWOT analysis overview, you will want to be sure to listen to that podcast as well. In this podcast, we're going to be outlining the steps of conducting a SWOT analysis. There will be 3 steps in total, and let's start with step 1. Distribute a copy of the SWOT analysis considerations document to all participants in the SWOT analysis process 3 days prior to the brainstorming session. Explain that these forms are to be completed and returned to the facilitator by end of business the next day. This document serves a dual function. First, it will set the tone for the brainstorming session by suggesting areas of concern. Second, it will serve to concentrate the discussion of the brainstorming session to matters which are demonstrably important to the participants. This document is meant to spur thought regarding the various influences inside the company and in the environment in which the company operates. It is broken into 2 sections: internal considerations and external considerations. Internal considerations are those over which the company has some control because they involve decisions made by company managers. In a sense, these considerations are a report card for management. As the participant reads through the list of internal considerations, she should rate each as a positive or negative for the future of the company. Then, once that decision is made, she should rate the importance of the consideration. For instance, if she decides that the company reputation is a positive factor and sees this as very important for the company, she should input a 5 in the pos column next to company reputation. If key personnel certifications is perceived as a weakness in the company, but the participant believes that this is of minor importance, she would enter a 1 in the neg column in the key personnel certifications row. External considerations are those over which the company has no control or very little control. The considerations reflect the future view of the participants regarding the market and the economy in which the company operates. Using the same process as before, participants should indicate positive or negative expectations and then rank those considerations from 1 to 5 regarding the importance of that consideration to the company. I have added the NA column to the external considerations, which may be checked if the participant does not perceive that consideration to apply. In step 2 of the SWOT analysis process, the proctor should gather the SWOT consideration surveys and collate the information using the summary form found on the Builder Resources page. Designate each of the participants 1, 2, 3, and so on to protect their anonymity. Enter the rankings for each of the considerations. For a positive response, enter the number. For a negative response, enter the number as a negative. The form will automatically total the value of the responses. You should see a correlation between responses, as the participants will normally see the same strengths and weaknesses in the company and will normally have the same concerns about opportunities and threats. Be aware of considerations with a big swing in values. For instance, one participant may enter a 4 and the other participant may enter a -5 in a category. This could indicate all kinds of interesting scenarios and should be investigated further. Categorize the top-ranking strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in the areas of the business, marketing, the crew, projects, and finances. All of those documents, again, are available on the website. These will form the basis for the brainstorming session. Also be aware of extremes away from the norm, i.e. most participants rate a certain consideration as a +1 and one participant rates the same consideration as a +5. Make allowances in the brainstorming session for considerations such as these to be discussed. You may get some interesting results as the discussion progresses. After you have gathered the information in step 1, of the SWOT process and collated the information in step 2, it's time to lay down the basis or foundation for the brainstorming session that is to come out of this information. The third step in the process is an extensive brainstorming session in which all participants are encouraged to address the major concerns which have been identified in the survey documents. On the web page, I have included data gathering documents for the business, marketing, the crew, projects, and finances. These should be distributed to each participant as an organizational tool for all the ideas which are going to come out of the session. The moderator of the SWOT analysis session should be using flip charts with easels, overhead projector, or some other method of gathering the ideas as they are generated by the participants. I would really recommend using Asana with everybody logged on to their Asana file so that they can follow the development of the ideas as the moderator or the proctor gathers them and enters them into her Asana file. You are looking for the top 5 strengths and how they might apply to the top 5 opportunities. You are looking for the top 5 weaknesses and how they can be turned into strengths or how they might be eliminated or at least reduced in importance. And you are looking for the top 5 threats and how the company can develop strategies to shield itself from the dangers posed by these threats. Allow the session to run as long as the ideas being generated are productive. Typically, the session lasts a minimum of 3 hours. Often they will last the entire day. I have facilitated sessions that lasted 2 days, which is the reason I developed the survey instruments that are distributed pre-session. Those instruments should speed the idea development phase considerably. If this is the first time you've conducted a SWOT analysis in your company, don't be alarmed if you run through periods of silence in which people are just thinking. This is a new idea to a lot of people to be able to express what their concerns are about the company, what they like about the company, what their concerns are about management, and so on. Just let it develop normally. You'll be surprised and pleased with the results. You might want to read about brain writing, which has become an alternative to the brainstorming session. If you have one individual whom you are afraid might dominate the meeting or the brainstorming session, an alternative to that is brain writing, in which each individual is encouraged to write down their answers to the opportunities and threat questions that come up in the face of someone who otherwise might dominate the meeting. We do offer third-party remote facilitator services for conducting SWOT analysis. If you are concerned about running or having somebody run this effort, you might want to consider giving that a try. Contact me if you want to discuss it further.